Hi, everyone. Just giving it a moment for the technology to kick in. If you can hear me, just say hi in the chat. That way I know that all the tech is working. And hey, hi, everyone. We got really good attendance today, which has surprised me a little bit because New South Wales has just come out of lockdown, which means that the only state that's left in lockdown is Victoria, and I guess with and that'd be good to know. From Paul's from San Diego, uh, Stu's from New Zealand. So yeah, just pop in which state or territory of Australia you're from, or which country or state of another country that you're from. Yeah, if you're in Melbourne in particular, if you're in Sydney, that's a Mel. Yeah, Mel. Yeah, New South Wales. I saw Ash there. G'day, mate. Um, Noosa, Byron. Okay, people from the naughty corners of Sydney. Lots of people from Melbourne. Ah, yeah, great to see. Yeah, okay, Melbourne. So, particularly for people in Melbourne, my heart goes out to you. Absolutely, you have done it the toughest. Yeah, and the number up. So, welcome to the people who are joining. So, yeah, we're focusing on managing your mental well-being during lockdown. But the reality is that whether you're managing your mental well-being during lockdown or whether you're managing it in general, the antidotes, the solutions, the way forward is the same. Hi to people in Manila and in other places around the world. Acknowledgement of country, and this is the beginning point because this is part of how you would manage yourself. And you're like, acknowledgement of country. What's that got to do with self-care, and what's that got to do with mental health? It's got a lot to do with it because the true acknowledgement of country is a really genuine acknowledgement of country. Us white fellas, we kind of go, oh, acknowledgement of country. Oh yeah, this country over there. We just sort of go, oh yeah, I acknowledge it. Yeah. But actually, the true acknowledgement of country is to be aware of the place where you are. So be aware of where you're sitting in your chair. For those of you who've done mindfulness, you go, oh, this sounds like mindfulness. Yeah, absolutely, it is. In some of the Aboriginal languages, this is known as dadiri, where you become aware of your body in the place that it is, where it is, and then you become aware of the shape of the land around you, where I am. I'm aware of valleys. I've actually got a dam, which is really nice. But there's a dam down the bottom. It was probably natural at one stage because it is in a deep gully, and I know that it's got some fish in it. I know that there's animals all around. So tragically, I've got rats and mice in the ceiling, but you know what? They're part of the they're part of the wildlife. There's farm animals. I know that there's lots of bird life, kookaburras and magpies, and there's lots of we saw a red-bellied black snake the other day. So acknowledge that it's out there somewhere. There's probably many of them. We've got a bush turkey that roams around our property and sort of does it rakes the whole property for us. Thank you, bush turkey. Often rakes the wrong place, unfortunately. But then I've got mountains, and then there's an ocean. You might have lakes. We've got a big river here. You might be aware of the big river, but just notice how within your own body you can actually become aware of the country around you. And we talk about being grounded, and we talk about grounding exercises. And there's nothing more grounding than feeling yourself in the country where you are. And of course, I didn't mention the people because there's also the people, and you can actually through your imagination get a felt sense of the people. And for some of you, there might be just a few people, but for a lot of you, there's going to be a sense of actually there's a lot of people around you, and you can just be aware of that without having to have an opinion or a judgment about it, but just an experience of it. And it's with that I would like to acknowledge the Gumbag people as the traditional custodians of this country upon which I'm meeting you today. And I would like to pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. And I would like to give my genuine thanks and appreciation and express my gratitude for the custodianship and the care that they've taken of this country for many thousands of years. I find it very difficult not to also offer an apology for what white people have done in the last 200 years. But nevertheless, those thanks are there and that gratitude is there. And yeah, thank you for Jasmine for saying that you're here, because I extend a warm welcome to you and to any other Aboriginal Torres Strait Island people who are present with us here today. So I'm Nigel, psychological coach at Uprise. That's what we call us here. I'm not necessarily a psychologist. I've got a background in psychology, but I've gone on to train as a psychotherapist, counselor. I'm also a lawyer, and I've got qualifications in business and corporate work. Do a lot of corporate work. I see a lot of clients. Do about 750 one-to-one hours of client work a year, as well as lots of group work and presentations like this. And so I hear lots and lots of stories and lots of experiences about what it's been like for people to live through the last 2 years and live through these lockdowns. And there's similarities, but there's also lots of differences, and every situation is unique, and I really recognise that. There will be a feedback form at the end of the webinar, so please take a moment to fill that in. This webinar isn't about health anxiety. I think that we did develop at Uprise a module that's specifically focused on the health anxiety around coronavirus. I think that that's subsiding. Um, Perhaps there's a new anxiety between vaccinated and unvaccinated people, depending upon whether you're vaccinated or unvaccinated. Either way, if you wanted to talk to anyone about that, you can you can call, you can make a booking with Uprise. So assuming that you've got that capability, and you can have a conversation. In fact, you can have a conversation with an Uprise coach about absolutely anything that you want to. Uh, this is my overview. It's roughly correct. I did an edit of these slides. I sort of reduced them down a bit, so it's not quite accurate now that I look at it. So what we're going to do is we are going to look at the baseline causes of stress, and because what we're looking at is life's stressful. I had a big conversation with my partner this morning. I had a motor vehicle accident on the weekend, and really, it was a bad accident. Involved children and other vehicles, and time in hospital and all that kind of thing. And she actually got quite upset. She said, "Why is life so hard? Why does it have to be so difficult? Is this really what God intended for us? Whatever your creator is, is this what we're supposed to go through? It's so hard in this reality, so physical," she said. And so, yeah, life is stressful. Um, you know, and so let's start with the baseline. It's already hard, but then we have lockdowns and pandemic and politics and the politics of pandemic, and that's additionally stressful. And so then it's about resilience. How do we have resilience in the face of these stresses? How do we make ourselves best able to cope and deal with and manage the difficulties that we have? And then I'm going to finish with the bit that everybody tends to be hanging out for, which is the strategies for building resilient in these difficult times, and in fact in all times. And I'm just going to go through a checklist of 12 points, 12 strategies that we know through science and experience are super effective at helping everybody and anybody be better at enjoying life, no matter what is going on around them. I always recommend, so really thank you everyone for commenting on the chat so far. The chat is open, I will see it. Um, and so just anytime you have a thought, anytime you have a question, pop it in the chat. I'm not going to be asking you lots of questions, but as soon as you think something, if you go, oh yeah, that resonates, you can just say resonates, or yes, for me totally, or oh my gosh, that. Just as you've seen someone there, they've gone ditto with a smiley face. Absolutely. Just get involved and give a sense of community that we are all in this together. And it's not just me up here doing the talking. All right, baseline causes of stress. So particularly work-related, I'm going to be a bit work-related here, and then I'll add on the lockdown stuff. This is what's going to cause you stress. And this is what, interestingly, a lot of people have been going through in the last couple of years, and in particular the last 3 to 6 months. Long hours. I'll try and separate out. But long hours cause stress. Full stop. What I want you to do is I want you to connect with what's relevant to you. Oh yeah, I want you, because what you're looking for is that's me. But maybe you're also interested in your family or your team, your work team, and you're thinking, oh yeah, that's that person or that person. That's what's going on for them. Long hours, heavy workloads, organizational changes. Some of the organizations that I work for, they're going through massive changes. And depending on how people are affected, it's really stressful. And there's a lot of anxiety in uncertainty. Oh, we're going to do a big organizational change. We're doing a review, and then there's going to be some redundancies and blah, blah, blah. And the organization is like, oh, I'm just telling you. And everyone's like, Is it going to be me? Am I going to get the redundancy? Who's it going to be? Oh my gosh, what do I have to do? And people get, I better work super hard to make sure that I'm safe. Tight deadlines, needing to actually meet deadlines, changes to duties, being told that I have to do something else that is been outside my usual role. A sense of job insecurity, feeling like, and which has been huge over the last couple of years. And for a lot of people, it's been the reality that they've discovered that their jobs aren't secure. For people who have decided not to get the vaccination, for them, job insecurity has become a massive issue, and quite suddenly. It was like it was possibly coming, but suddenly it's like, no, you're out of a job because you're not going along with the vaccination plan. Lack of autonomy, people feeling like they don't have a choice, they don't have control over their work or their life. And I was actually just chatting. We've got Charlotte in the background here who works at Uprise, and she was telling me about how she does 4 days of corporate work, but then she's got a day of swimming teaching. I'm like, why would you do a day of swimming teaching? When you've got all this other work that you could do, and you obviously got busy and you could do plenty of. She was like, I need it for the change. I need it for the reality. I need it for the real people. And the playfulness and the kids and getting in the water, and it breaks up the week. It changes the way that she lives. And so, anytime where any of us are caught in repetitive work, you will find yourself getting very stressed. There's this kind of weird idea, repetitive work, and then you're in the production line. It's easy. It's not easy because there's a sense of meaninglessness that goes along with it. And anytime that'll come up later in terms of the strategies, anytime we feel meaningless, purposeless, like we're not making a valuable contribution to society in a way that's meaningful for us in accordance with our values, then we will become stressed. If we don't feel like we've got the job skills to do the job we've been asked to do, there's other webinars that we run on imposter syndrome that creates a great sense of stress. I supervise students on placement, and they're all like, "Oh my god, imposter syndrome!" The clients who expect me to know what to do, and I don't know what I'm doing. Having inadequate resources to do my jobs, a lack of equipment, not enough promotional opportunities, perceived harassment in the workplace, perceived discrimination in the workplace for whatever reason. At the moment, people who aren't getting vaccinated, I'm naming them because they're going to be here, and I know that they're really stressed out and suffering, and they are perceiving themselves as being discriminated against. For those that are vaccinated, it's nothing, and this is the nature of discrimination. When you're in the large group, when you're in the group that's inadvertently discriminating against, you have no idea that there's any discrimination because it doesn't affect you. You don't even notice it. It's invisible to you. This is the nature of discrimination. But when you're in the small group, the subgroup, the alternate group, then you're very aware of it, but you feel like you can't talk about it because you're in the minority. Tensions in work relationships, that you might have been experiencing a lot of those. I've been talking to people who have been struggling with lockdowns, but not knowing how to communicate that with their managers, or feeling like their managers don't understand, or feeling like their colleagues don't understand what's going on for them. And I had a conversation with someone the other day. He said, "Oh, I spoke to the CEO and just said, oh yeah, I'm struggling a bit." And the CEO said, "Oh yeah, I had some trouble sleeping. You should do this." And the person just went, "Oh my god, that just so missed me. It was ridiculous." Here's the CEO trying to be supportive, but actually they've completely missed my experience and actually minimized it and made me feel condescended to. So that's a really uncomfortable feeling that leaves us feeling on the outer. Major crisis incidents, of course. I had a crisis on the weekend with a major motor vehicle accident. That's a serious crisis, and I've got the resultant kind of flow on tension and stress and anxiety from that. Just some comments in the chat. Long hours, job insecurity, very stressful. Don't know if you're going to work the next day. Starting a new job, never done before, on contract, so there's work uncertainty, there's uncertainty there too. Zero opportunities for professional development for 2 years due to COVID being all consuming. That's been unexpectedly stressful. Working from home, being isolated is very challenging. Lack of contribution, impact definitely resonates. So what are the additional stresses of this extended and pandemic? There's health anxiety. People are worried about getting sick. People get angry at one another for not, there's the old pull your mask up over your nose. Have you checked in? Are you allowed in? For business owners at the moment in New South Wales, the stress of we've got to now become the police, and we've got to check everyone coming through. Do we even want to do that? Speaking to a small business person the other day, he's got a small business, hasn't had any customers for 2 years, and he rang whoever it was that he wanted to speak to about COVID. Said, "What am I supposed to do?" They said, "Oh, hire a security guard to do the checks for you. And he's like, what are you talking about? So just that just not being understood around the impacts, the personal impacts, the hygiene processes. My kids are so over me saying, come on guys, disinfect, disinfect anytime they touch their nose or their face. And they're kids. Anytime they touch, they come in and out, I'm like, right, disinfect, disinfect. They're like, oh geez, Dad, settle down. I'm like, no, I'm not going to settle down, because this is the reality that we live in. Really frustrated that your life's been interrupted. People, you all know this. I can't travel. I can't visit my family. Over 2 years, a lot of people die. Yeah, I speak to a lot of people. I spoke to a friend, really good friend yesterday, and he's been out of touch for months. He's like, yeah, my mum died, and I can't go. I couldn't go to her funeral. I watched her funeral. No one was there. It was on TV. It was just crap, and I haven't seen my father. I haven't seen my sister. I haven't seen my brother. It's just we're all so separated from one another in this really, really awful time of our lives. The lack of certainty, when's it going to stop? Is it going to stop? Is the vaccine going to make it better? Is it 2 shots, 3 shots, booster shots every 3, 6, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? Do we have to live with it? Do we let it in? Do we let it out? What's the government going to do next? We just don't know. And now we've got, for a long time people going, oh, Gladys is great, Gladys is awful, Gladys is great. I was like, oh, now Gladys is gone. We've got someone else coming in. Whoa. We're on this roller coaster. The loneliness and disconnection is huge, whether you're in a family or not. Teenagers, in particular, for those that have teenagers, have just been really, really struggling. Lack of direction, no end in sight. Where's the light at the end of this tunnel? And maybe we're seeing it now overseas. It looks like there's light at the end of the tunnel, but we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen next. And then there's the relentless exposure to negative news, and whatever your views are on information and misinformation, also news, this news and that. And, anytime you turn on any media, it is constant, and we've all been getting it non-stop for 2 years. The numbers, people sort of getting hooked in the numbers and watching the numbers and seeing what the numbers are going to do, and that it's like gambling. It's got this addictive quality to it. Working from home, blurring those boundaries between home and work. I've got to get a move on. It's only a 30-minute webinar. Home and work, juggling work and family. Oh, okay. I'm a parent. I'm an employee. I'm a partner. What? Oh, now I'm a teacher. Okay, so now I'm a teacher. I've got to manage the classroom, and I don't know how to do that, and it's really hard. And why won't they listen to me? My gosh. Lack of personal contact. It's one thing to. It's great. We've got technology. We can communicate with one another through these platforms, but we can't physically see each other. We can't reach out and touch one another. We're mammals. The thing that differentiates a mammal from a reptile is that mammals like to huddle together. You look at herd animals when it's cold. You look at any kind of rat or mice or rodent or dog or cat, and they like to snuggle up together. Your dog likes to cuddle up to you. Cat likes to cuddle up to you. We can't do that. We're being starved of this fundamental biological need. The communications are stilted. I mean, how many times have you gone, oh, you're on mute, or how many times have you been talking away and then you realize that the other person can't hear you, or how often have you been listening to someone intently and they've been and you got no idea what's going on. So there's this loss of naturalness in interaction. We have research, and there's common experiences, and so you will have experienced this. And again, just tune in. How have you been affected? Because knowing that so many millions of people have been affected in exactly the same way you have, it helps. There's a phenomenon, a group phenomenon known as all it's called in the same boat phenomenon. And it's literally, if you hear someone who's had the same sort of experience as you go, oh, gosh, I feel so much better. Like, it doesn't take away that I feel bad, but I stop feeling bad about feeling bad. I stop feeling that there's something wrong with me for feeling the way I feel and doing the things I do. So, have you been feeling sadness, apathy, you can't be bothered, fear, uncertainty, frustration, anxiety, anger, rage, insomnia, lying in bed not able to sleep? That's been me the last few days after my car accident. Hypervigilance, watching, particularly around the hygiene stuff, difficulties in concentrating, not being able to focus. I've been talking to a lot of people who are really struggling to go, oh my God, can't do it anymore. I've got this work to do, but every time I try and concentrate, I just can't get into it. And increased drug and alcohol use. It's common. Yeah, everyone's been doing it. If that's you, don't get too upset about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Try not to do it, but know that it's normal. All right. So life can be challenging. Lost not being able to see family, watching things on TV, incredibly disconnected, isolated, homeschooling, children working full time. Yeah, and they're trying to meet corporate deadlines and do extra been so stressful. COVID kilos. Yeah, good one. We've all got our comfort food, and that can pack on the kilos, and just it's exercising stopped. For people that did exercise, it stopped being as much fun, and it stopped being as easy. A lot of people go, I don't like running; it hurts my knees. I don't, don't. I'm sick of walking around the block. I want to go to the gym. I like going to the gym. I can't go to the gym, and that's sort of led to this. Again, decrease in physical activity and increase in body weight, and a reduction in health as well. So, what is resilience? Let's understand resilience, and please feel free to share, your sense of what resilience means to you, and maybe examples of how when you're being resilient. I knew that I was being resilient this morning when my partner was able to break down after my accident on the weekend, and I was able to be there for her as she was able to share her thoughts and feelings and fears and tears. So resilience, developable capability, oh my gosh, the developable capacity to rebound or bounce back from adversity, conflict, and failure, or even positive events like progress and increased responsibility. Is it beneficial that someone working from home should not work from their bedroom as it is their sanctuary? Well, I wouldn't want them working in my bedroom for sure. Yeah, it's not a good idea because you blur. One of the things we're going to talk about is blurring the bound. Well, I think we're talking about blurring the boundaries between home and work. So anything you can do to separate, the better. Resilience is the developable capacity. I think I've ended up with the wrong webinar. The developable capacity to rebound or bounce back from adversity, conflict, and failure. Stable trajectory of healthy functioning after a highly adverse event. So how do we build resilience? I've only got 6 minutes, so I want to jump into this. Yeah. Resilience when going into a difficult time and remind myself that it's temporary. Yeah, that's great. So have a think about what helps you to be resilient. I'm just going to keep moving along. Have a think about what helps you to be resilient and ways in which you have proven to be resilient when things have been stressful or challenging. So first tip, turn off the news. This is a big tip. You will not miss anything genuinely new. When the slides aren't uploaded in Demio like this is static, but that switch, I've got a cute little animation, and the switch actually goes switch and flicks off. Yeah, so I don't think watching the news has been helping anybody. I'll move on. All right. So again, this was an animated slide. So just work with me from number 1 on the top right as like a clock, and we'll work our way around to 12. Okay, got 5 minutes. All right. So tune into which of these helps you. So there are a top 3 of self-care: sleep, exercise, nutrition. Sleep well, eat well, exercise regularly. If you do that, then you are going to create this good, stable baseline of self-care that's going to make you able to withstand all sorts of events. It's also the baseline for keeping you safe from illnesses, including COVID. So as much as you can, even in lockdown, try and get good sleep. Try and get it, and they go together. The better you eat, the more you exercise, the better you sleep. The better you sleep, the more you want to exercise, and the better you want to eat. And so they really work as a triad together. Number 2 is number 4 on the self-care list, which is connection. Yeah, work as hard as you can to make sure that you connect with good people. After my accident on the weekend, I felt embarrassed. I felt ashamed. I had children in the car. I put people's lives at risk. It was really a terrible situation, and I was all closed up. I didn't want to share it with anyone. And then I sort of shared with some friends, on WhatsApp and Messenger. And then they rang me, and then they were like just worried about me and concerned about me and loved me. And then I started reaching out to more and more people. I didn't want to even want to my parents. Um, but then having heard everybody's sort of love and concern and connection, I feel so much better. It really has sort of built my resilience. And it's so easy to stay closed off. And it takes effort, and all of this takes effort. It takes effort to reach out and connect with other people. Take the risk, make the effort. Listen to your body. What's your body telling you? Develop your self awareness. Don't deny what your body and your soul and your heart are trying to tell you. Be realistic. People have talked about this. This too will pass. Accept what cannot be changed. And the number one thing in this world that cannot be changed is other people. I can't change what other people think about me. There's that line that goes, "What other people think about me, what other people think about you is none of your business." So I can't change even what my partner thinks about me, what my friends think about me, what my family thinks about me. And so I've got to accept those things. And then I've got to change what I can change. And what can I change? Well, I can change myself. I can change what I do. I can change the way I respond to other people. Practicing mindfulness, practicing breathing really helps with this. I'll take a moment now to take a deep breath and hold that breath and then let it out slowly. And then you hold again at the end of the breath. And box breathing is 3 seconds in, hold for three, 3 seconds out, hold for three, and clinically proven to reduce stress levels, reduce cortisol, reduce adrenaline. There's a whole theory around that. The breath is everything. If you can control your breath, then you can control the way you feel. Be brave. Take the risk to make a change. Sometimes it's about talking to the boss, talking to our partner, talking to our parents, talking to our friends, doing something that we wouldn't normally do because we've been a little bit hesitant to do. And often what we fear is failure. Stay focused on the problem at hand, focused on one thing at a time. I work with couples a lot, and anyone who's in a relationship knows you start to get into an argument and then you get upset and you go, yeah, well, what about when you did this? And they said, well, yeah, well, you did, I might have done that, but you did this and this and this. And remember that time when, and suddenly you got 57 different things, and who knows what the conversation's really about. All you're doing is just venting your anger. But if you can stay focused on the problem at hand and deal with it, then that's one thing that you can put to the side and move on to the next thing. We are not good. We think we're good, but we are not good at juggling 12 different things at a time. Our brain is set up for one focused activity. Deal with it, get it done, move on to the next thing. Commit and persist. If there's something that you decide to do that's important to you, exercise, get better sleep, less Netflix, turn off the news. Make the commitment to yourself and persist. If it's about drugs, I was talking to someone recently about smoking marijuana. How do I stop? And I said, well, at the end of the day, you just stop. But yeah, what about when I feel the craving? Well, you don't give in to that craving. And then it comes again and you don't give into it. And you find a way to distract yourself and do something else that changes your physiology so that one moment at a time, one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, you say, no, because I'm committed to a long term objective. Delayed gratification. This is huge in psychology. In fact, great. So much of psychology is based around teaching people how to not give in to the immediate need for the feelings. Yes, listen to your feelings, but be aware that just because your feelings say, I want some chocolate, doesn't mean you've got to go grab some chocolate. Just because your feelings say, I need a cigarette, don't go grabbing a cigarette. Learn to tolerate bad feelings, because all of these things, all these addictions, all of this eating, whatever it is that you're doing, all of this TV watching, all of this news watching, it's kind of distracting you from the bad feelings that you're having within yourself, the frustration, the anxiety, the rage. Be okay with how you feel. Don't judge how you feel. Don't turn your feelings into good feelings and bad feelings. Just let them be feelings, because feelings are like waves, they come and go. And if you let them be, they will come and go on their own. But we don't let them be. Good feelings we try and hold on to. Bad feelings we try and escape from. Just let it be. Let the bad feelings come. Let the good feelings come. Let the bad feelings come. Let the good feelings come. That's what life is all about. Maintain clear, flexible boundaries with the people around you. That's about saying no. Saying I've got limits. I don't like that. I don't accept that in my life. I don't need that. No, I can't do that extra task. No, I can't take on that extra project. No, I can't do an extra 3 hours today. I'm sorry. Do kind things to other people. Yeah, we really know doing kind things for other people, for your neighbors, for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones. Just thinking of them and what it is that they want and need, and doing that for them, saying that thing to them, changes everything. It's that smile that you give to the random person walking down the street. I was talking to a student yesterday, and it's a sad story. I won't say where it is, but he lives in an area where there's a large Aboriginal community, and he grew up there, and he just developed the habit of kind of just walking past, and then just a few days ago he started smiling and saying g'day, and these people then went, "G'day, mate. How you going?" And he realised that actually he'd locked himself out, and he locked them out of this wonderful experience of being able to be part of something with the other people who are in your community. Practice gratitude. People have mentioned gratitude. Try and focus on what's already good in your life. Gratitude diet, gratitude journal is like clinically proven to increase happiness over time. There's this lovely graph of, sorry, I'm taking a little bit more of your time than I should be, but there's this lovely graph of, you win the lotto and your happiness goes up and then it goes down. You start writing a gratitude journal and your happiness slowly increases, but over time, over 6 month period, you're going to be much happier writing a gratitude journal every day, which is within your power, then you are going to be winning $1 million in the lotto. So be grateful, because when you start to focus your mind on what you've already got, what's already good, then your mind gets in the habit of focusing on what it's already got and what's already good. All right. There's lots of modules on Uprise that you can go and do to develop these skills, to develop mindset skills. There's one-to-one coaching available. These are the key takeaways. Thanks very much for being here today. I hope you enjoyed the webinar. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope you're going to take something away that's going to help you enjoy your lockdown better than you have been. Thank you.
Thanks, Nigel. Teresa, if you don't mind ending the session, thank you. Teresa, can you end the session?